Hello, in this video I will derive using the product rule. So the product rule is just another method for finding the derivative usually of two products. And you may have seen it. Here is the product rule. It's basically f prime of x times g of x plus g prime of x times f of x. The product rule usually involves two terms that are multiplying each other. So an example, when to use product rule is something like g of x equals x squared plus 1 times x squared minus 2x, and then g of s is equal to square root of s times 4 minus s squared. So basically, when you see two terms that are multiplying, right? So this could be f, and then this whole thing could be g. Okay, so now we're just going to do some examples. Okay, example 1. Find the derivative using product rule. So let's figure out our f and g. Or if you want, you can write out the product rule. The product rule is f prime of g of x plus, whoops, it's this. So it's f prime of x times g of x plus g prime of x of f of x. That's all it is. So first you got to determine your f and what's your g. So this whole thing can be represented as your f, and then this whole thing can be represented as your g, right? So f equals to 3x minus 2x squared. And then f prime is just the derivative of each term. So the derivative of 3x is 3. The derivative of negative 2x squared is minus 4x to the 1. All I did was apply power rule. And then g is 5 plus 4x. So g prime is going to be, the derivative of 5 is 0, and the derivative of 4x is 4. Okay, and then you just apply product rules. So h prime of x is f prime, right? It's this rule. F prime, which is 3 minus 4x, times it by g of x, or g is 5 plus 4x, plus g prime of x, which is 4, times regular f of x is 3x minus 2x squared. So you can leave it like this, or if you want to simplify it, you could FOIL it out and collect like terms. So if you FOIL it out, your final answer would be this. So I don't know how detailed your teachers want, but this is fine. If I was your teacher, I would accept this. So if you want to simplify it even more, this would be your final answer as well. Okay, so either answer is good enough. Okay. Let's move on to example 2. Okay, so we have h of t equals the cube root of t times t squared plus 4. What you could do is if you didn't want to if you didn't want to use the product rule, you could have just FOILed this cube root of t and then take the derivative of each term, but the direction says to use product rule. So let's first figure out our f and our g. So my f is this whole thing, and then my g is this whole thing. F is cube root of t. Now, I think it'd be easier if to write this as a power. So the cube root of t would be t to the 1/3, right? And then f prime is just power rule, right? So this is 1/3 t, and then the new power is going to be old minus new. I mean old minus 1. So it's basically 1/3 minus 1, or 3/3. So 1 minus 3 is negative 2/3. If you want, you can simplify this even more using positive power. So this would be expressed as 1/3, and then t to the negative 2/3 is like 1/t to the positive 2/3, right? And then t to the 2/3 can be expressed as the cube root of t squared. And then g is t squared plus 4. So g prime is 2t, and then derivative 4 is 0. So if you apply the power rule, it's if you recall, it's f prime of g of g of x plus g prime of x of f of x. Okay, so you could say h prime of t is f prime. So f prime could be expressed as 1/3 t to the negative 2/3 times it by g, which is t squared plus 4 plus g prime, which is 2t. And then f is cube root of t. Okay, if you want to simplify this even more, I guess if you simplify this using only positive power, this would be your final answer. It would be t squared plus 4 plus 6 cube root of t times t to the 5/3. And then it's all over 3t to the 2/3. Okay, so I think this is perfectly appropriate. And then this is also appropriate if you simplify it. Okay. Let's move on to example 3. Find the derivative using product rules. Okay, so this looks slightly off from the other ones we did, but we are going to use product rule because there is technically 2 terms. Did you know that 5x is 1 term? So this 5x is like your f, and then this y squared is like your second term. They're 2 different terms, right? So now we can apply the product rule. So we said that our f is 5x. So f prime is just 5. And then g is y squared. G prime is 2y. Okay. And then if you just apply the power rule, product rule. Product rule is f prime of g plus g prime of f. So you could say your final answer would be f prime of x equals to f prime, which is 5. G is y squared plus g prime 2y times it by regular f, which is 5x. So this is going to be 5y squared plus 2y times 5x is 10xy. Okay. Let's move on to example 4. Find the derivative using product rules. So, okay. This is kind of like the last one, but this looks like you would use product rule. Can we use product rule? Are there two terms? The answer is no. This was a trick one because I see when I did tutor math, I see a lot of these problems where students think they would apply the product rule, but you would actually use the power rule. And the reason why we're going to use a power rule is because this is actually one big term. 5 pi is technically a constant, right? So it's like a constant times x squared, which is power rule. So your final answer would be g prime of x equals 2. So if you apply the power rule, 5 pi times the power, which is 10 pi, right? And then you have x, and then the new power is the old minus 1, so 2 minus 1, which is 1. Okay, so that was example 4. Example 5. So this is definitely product rule. So this whole thing is like one term. So this whole thing is like my f. This whole thing is one term. That's like my g, right? So f is x squared plus x. And then f prime is 2x. And then the derivative of x is 1. G is x squared minus 4. G prime is the derivative of x squared is 2x. And then the derivative of negative 4 is 0. So if you apply the product rule, it's f prime of g plus g prime of f. So you could say that f prime of x is f prime, which is 2x plus 1 times it by regular g, which is x squared minus 4, plus g prime, which is 2x times regular f, which is x squared plus x. Okay, so you can leave it like this. I would accept this, but if you want to simplify it by foiling and collecting like terms, your final answer would be f prime of x equals to 4x cubed plus 3x squared minus 8x minus 4. And that's it. Okay, so this wraps it up for this video, and then the next video should be a quiz. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.